Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the market site in Times Square, New York City, we have Daniel Gouldman. He is the co-founder and CEO of Ternio, and we're going to take a look at the state of crypto entrepreneurship. Daniel, it's great to have you with us at market site. It's really interesting. We know what crypto's all about. We know all the hot topics that are there, but we really don't know who and what is comprising the industry. So tell us about the methodology behind the survey behind crypto entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so our team put together a report for blockchain and cryptocurrency that was taking information from public sources. So whether it be social media, public information, put all that together and compiled a report.
All right, and it employs over 86,000 people. That was a much larger number than I had expected.
Yeah, and it's growing. People don't understand on the user side, actually, user growth doubled 2019 to 2018, 2018, 2017, a lot of growth on the user side, and that's driving demand and employment. So not only startups, but also the largest companies in the world are all focused on innovation with blockchain.
All right, let's take a look at our first chart here. Now, this is a crypto startup by employee count. Tell us what we're looking at here.
Okay, so we've got crypto startup employee count. As you can see, you've got everything from, let's say, a Binance, where I don't know if they're on here, but you've got large companies with Binance, like Binance, that have the #1 employer of employees, and you've got small companies that might have 1 to 5 employees.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the employee headcount per company is not quite as high because all of the technology that underlies what's happening in the cryptocurrency space does a lot of what used to be back office and those kinds of jobs that we see in more legacy types of business.
Well, that's the truth, and that's the interesting thing about it. The impact on the industry is not necessarily going to be measured only on employee growth, because the truth is, what we do and what the industry will do is automating many things.
Right.
And that's going to mean that you can do so much more with so many fewer people.
All right, let's talk about demographics for a bit here. San Francisco, London, New York City are the most popular for startup founders.
Yeah, and actually, surprisingly, despite the challenges around regulatory in the U.S. is a big place for blockchain and crypto. We're the world's most dynamic economy. And so there's a lot of good things happening. New York, San Francisco, London, like you said. People are going to they want to be in markets and regulatory environments that they feel safe in.
All right, let's dive even deeper into the demographics. Our next chart here is about cyber gender and the roles that plays. And this is a big topic right now when it comes to governance and ESG more broadly.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. So as you can tell, that's what we would consider to be not an equitable share of gender. So there's a real problem within technology generally, and that spills over into the blockchain technology as well.
All right, moving along to our last chart, we're going to look at racial demographics as well. This looks a little bit more sliced and diced evenly as compared to men versus women.
Yeah, and this is what we've compiled sort of more broadly from what's public. I would say just sort of, what I've seen personally, I see a lot more of a more diverse offering of people who work within the space. And you can see that it's better than the gender gap, but there's ways to go here in terms of making sure that it's a global technology, and so you'll have a much more diverse racial makeup.
When it comes to the crypto industry or technology in general, are they doing anything to erase that gender gap, or at least try to encourage more women to get into technology and crypto?
Every single day I'm meeting more and more women, and believe me, as you know, women are unbelievable and talented. They have just as many talents as any other guy in the world. And so it's a matter of, I think, having a passion for the technology. But I see a lot of women in the space now, more and more every day, and we just have a lot that we need to do to make sure that women are embraced and feel comfortable.
All right, women in fintech, that's certainly a hot topic. Now, just more broadly speaking, let's go back to the conversation of mass institutional adoption and really where we are in the blockchain and crypto cycle.
Yeah, no, it's commonly misunderstood things. We talk to somebody about blockchain, sometimes they'll understand what it is. A lot of times people might say, well, you mean Bitcoin? But the reality is that the underlying technology is going to completely change the world and many different industries, specifically fintech. I think there's so many existing, I always say, my business is in the business of putting other businesses out of business. So there's big companies that today are going to be disintermediated because what they do is the very old school working with 50-year-old technology, and their strengths are going to become big-time weaknesses for them.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier before off air. It can be used in healthcare. It can be used anywhere from farm to table, anything that requires logistics and be able to track it from A to B. There's so many uses for it.
There are, and remember, because commerce is about exchange of value. And so exchange of value means I give you something, you give me something. And what a digital asset does, it just allows for a frictionless way to transact in commerce, whether it be right here, you and me, whether it be cross-state or whether it be global. And so cryptocurrency or digital asset, which people think of as Bitcoin, is really going to be a frictionless way to transfer value, and it's going to completely change B2B B2C, it's going to be transformational.
All right, Daniel, thanks so much for joining us at MarketSite. And thanks for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.